little bit. And then after I get this mixed up, I will come back and I will show you what we're going to do with it next. So now this is ready to be used. Again, leaf mixed in there. So it's not just true white. I'm going to take, and I'm going to divide this up into about thirds. Okay. I'm going to set 2 of them aside. And I'm going to put some of this on here. This is so pretty. It's going to add such a nice shimmer to this clay. Okay, I'm going to mix these up because I want to do something with blues and whites. And I have something in mind, but I also want to give you options of things that you can do. You know, if you've got something that you made or that you've used most of and have something left. And you can always just take it and, well, hi, baby. Hello. You can always just take it and use it something like this, especially if you just wanted to use it for a back. But I want to take it a little bit step further. Okay, so this is a little bit paler than I want. So I've got some more blues out, and I'm going to mix these together. And I actually think that I'm going to take a little bit of both and put it in both, and then it kind of unifies both of these colors. So a prime example for you. Here's just regular silver, and here's silver that I added a little bit of white to. Maybe a little tiny bit of this peacock pearl. And I'm going to get a nice straight edge to start with that. Okay. Now, how about some white in between there?
You're going to take your blade and cut small triangles from the different colors of your clay. And in between each one of those, you want to take a thin strip of white and make like a dividing line between your colors. It doesn't matter which order you put it in, it's entirely up to you. You want to try and keep your clay on the blade of your tissue blade and use that as your support and kind of scoot it in closer to the clay as you are putting each one of them on there. And in case you're wondering, I am doing a voiceover because it's really, really noisy with my tile on the glass, and I apologize for that. It's easier if you can keep the clay on your tissue blade. And if you put a color on there that you don't like, or a position you don't like, see, in this case, I forgot to put the white in there between them. So now I'm using my hands to put it back in there, and I'm struggling a little bit to get it back into place. But then just take your tissue blade and push it back down to your clay to straighten it out. And then push on both ends once you've decided that you've got enough colors on there, or in my case, you've run out of space in your tile. And once you trim your edges up, it completely changes how it looks. See how quickly it looks so nice and neat now? Once you're happy with it, very gently, you can take a roller and slide it over the top just to make sure that everything is all smooth and level.
Okay, so I decided that I'm going to use the Skinner blend and do long ones. Kind of bulk it up a little bit rather than just getting into new clay, since this is a scrap project.
I want really skinny lines of the silver in between my pieces. And now I'm realizing that I had my clay facing the wrong direction. So I spun it around. And since I'm trying to put this now onto a white backing sheet of clay, it is much more difficult. And I would not recommend doing it this way. See how it's sticking to my tissue blade and it's not sticking to the blue clay there on the tile. You can't just slide it like you can when it's on the tile because you don't have that little bit of smooth surface. it just stops because of the clay wants to stick to itself. So I definitely would not recommend doing it this way. So I'm going to fast forward the rest of this footage so you can see me do it, but not watch me struggle too much. You can see here how I'm really struggling to get the clay to stick to where I need it to be, and I'm having to use my tissue blade and push it into place more than one time.
I apologize. At some point in time, my camera died. I'm not sure when. And I made this and this, and I'm not sure if you guys saw me do that or not. I've also taken what I had left and done another Skinner blend. And then I have just a little bit more white as well as this. Okay, so I'm going to do one more, but I narrowed the Skinner blend this time. Last time when I did it, I think the Skinner blend was just a little too wide. So I'm going to trim up the edges with some straighter lines. And we're going to do it one more time. Okay. This time we're going to use white, just plain white in our center. And it does not need to be as white as it is, as long as it is. So let's trim that up and let's see if we can get a small little skinny line. It's really thin. There we go. And this way, what they look like going that way, or what they look like going that way. That's kind of cool looking. Let's do that. And then it leaves me a little bit more down here for some small earrings. One. So I get some of those other colors in there, not just predominantly the blue. My hope is to use some of these pieces. And I've used them before, but they have these really sweet little mermaids that come with them. I like how she's double-sided. You know, you see the same on both sides, no matter which way that you look at it. So I have moved forward with this. I've baked it. It's out of the oven. Now, I have baked this for 2 hours, and it's still not as flexible as I would like it to be. But what I like about it is the shimmer that you can see, even in the darker colors. And then there's this piece. I have not decided how I want to finish this one because it's fairly large, as you see. It's a lot larger than I normally make, and I definitely think that I need to back this with another piece just for the stability. I had some little bits of leftovers, so I took it and I twisted it, and I really like how that turned out. I think that is so much fun. And you know, you could even take up here and put like a little rhinestone with your bail and give it a little extra pop. You can put, if it's the right size, you can put this kind of a veil on the back, so then you're not drilling into your clay, and then it's just from the top. And that one fits really well. Favorites. But I really love how these turned out. I had some leftovers, so I made a little lentil bead. And then I made just some little guys. And you can do them like this, and you get more of a grayish color. You can flip them over to decide which way you like better. I really like this one, but I don't like the marbling on that one. So I would probably do them something like this. I have several that I've done in 3 tiers like that. I like how they hang. And then just another little marbleized guy. Now what I was thinking about with something like this is if you have a little charm like this, you put her on there and she kind of looks like she's floating in some water maybe. Or here's a little seashell. Those are fun. You can take, I have used all of my sea turtles that don't have charms on, you know, the connectors on the bottom. So just for argument's sake, pretend that that's not there. And those look really cool on there too, because then it looks like the sea turtle is swimming in the water. So I might play with this idea a little bit more. It was all said and done, I ended up with just this little bit of scrap. So guys, now I have to decide how I want to finish these. Seal them with resin for the stability. And we're gonna go like this. And then I'm going to take one. You can go ahead and bake these like this, or you can use them as a piece to go on top of something else. But these will definitely need to be backed with something else for security. So I really want to use up these scraps. I do not want leftovers. That was the whole purpose of this to begin with. So I'm just gonna take it, and then when you give it a little twist, you know how to do this. As I was sitting here sanding this, a thought occurred to me that you don't have to just wear it this way. You could also wear it this way. And as I was thinking about that, I thought, well, you know what? Not only could you put your bail up here, you could put charms down here along the bottom. So I pulled a couple out and I kind of started experimenting with what that might look like, you know, just as a thought. And I think that guy might be a little bit too big, but in the box that I have, I don't really like any more of the charms. I've used all the ones that I really like. I really like this guy. He's really cute, except he is too big. You know, he doesn't work. But, you know, and I don't think one really works. And these guys aren't quite the right color. But it gives you ideas of things that you can do with your own pieces. So how you can take something that was just scrap and elevate it to a whole new level of being, so to speak. I mean, and look at how quickly that becomes just a piece that, oh, that's kind of cool too. Oh, wow, that is like so totally oceany. So anyway. Again, I still have not exactly figured out how I'm going to finish this, but as I was sanding this, that thought occurred to me, and here's the back, and you can see nice sparklies in there now. Lots of pretties. Once it's polished and that metal leaf starts to come out. So it's getting nice and soft. So using my sticks, which I am absolutely in love with, you guys. These are so much the coolest. The coolest, the coolest, the coolest. So anyway, you can take some rhinestones and put them on the bottom. The one thing you need to be careful of when you do this is when you put your jump rings through here, even though this is on a back sheet of clay, you got to be careful of your seam lines, like right in here, because those are weak points in your clay. And even on this side, you know, where this jump ring would go through here, you got to be careful with where you would put jump rings and where you would drill through your clay. So depending on how you have cut out your piece, if you make a piece like that, just keep that in mind. So turquoise looks cool, but it just doesn't quite, I don't know, maybe one in the middle and the white on the edges, or even completely changing, making each one different. So play with it, have fun, come up with all kinds of different ideas. It is entirely up to you. This kit comes with a little bead, so you could string this and make them a little bit longer. So have fun, guys. You have these guys, this guy, which is still really kind of cool to me. Really see the metal leaf in that one sparkling. This guy, which is cool, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I mean, I really like it, but it reminds me kind of just of a surfboard. And last but not least, just taking a little bit of it and marbleizing it. But I still have leftovers. So I did not quite accomplish my goal to use up my leftovers. But I started, and you can too. And that's the whole purpose. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you guys. See you next time. Bye.